Well, hello guys and girls, and welcome back to your favourite holiday destination, LV426, where it's always cloudy with high winds, but we do have the best insurance prices against alien impregnation in the region. So make yourselves comfy, and in today's video I'm going to be talking to you about all the information we have so far regarding the new Alien movie, which will be a Hulu exclusive, although you can expect some cinemas to be playing the film no doubt close to the release date. I'll also discuss some speculation about the film based on what info we have to go on. If you're new to the channel, then please feel free to hit the like button or even subscribe, as I will be covering all the latest news on every Alien project in development as and when they are released to us. Also, I'd love it if you wanted to leave a comment with your own thoughts or theories, as I'm always interested to engage with the community on this subject. Okay, so let's talk about the details dropped so far, even if we don't have that much to go on as of yet. The reported title of the film is Alien Romulus. Although subject to change this early on, I do wonder why they have chosen this name. Prometheus and Covenant were aptly named because of the way the story elements unravelled in those films. So why Romulus? Could it be related to the mythological tale of Romulus and Remus, whose lives through a series of events led to the founding of the city of Rome? Well, this brings us to the only synopsis or plot leak we have been given so far by the creative team, and they say, as opposed to the other movies which focus on adults in corporate, militaristic and scientific roles, this now 9th instalment of the franchise will focus on a group of young people on a distant world who find themselves in confrontation with the most terrifying life form in the universe. They're not giving us many clues at this stage, but does the title of Romulus simply relate to these young colonists trying perhaps to build some kind of foundation, a new beginning in a distant and hostile world? Or does it indicate possibly to a more sick and twisted tale? Could the meaning refer to the creation of the other species in question, the alien? Romulus speaks of origins to me, and honestly I doubt it would be the origin of anything good. I'd particularly love to hear your thoughts on this, especially if we have any history buffs here. It has been expressed by the creators that this will be a standalone film with a fresh cast of young actors. Oh god, hopefully not a LV90210. We don't need a teen horror movie to drag this franchise back down into the gutter after such promise of life again. Well, if we stay positive, we've also had confirmation that Romulus is going to be set somewhere between the time of Alien and Aliens. This, as we know, was the cryosleep period for Ripley as she drifted into space after ejecting from the Nostromo. Therefore, we cannot expect this film to tie in too much with the others in the franchise. I mean, I expect to see Weyland-Yutani Corp logos in this newly built colony, and maybe some other references, but it does seem they want to try something different and a little more isolated in storytelling. Hopefully we get a well-needed fresh take, much like what they achieved in the recent Predator movie named Prey, also from Hulu, which did away with all the nostalgia and just presented a good story with great new characters, whilst honestly doing wonders to revive a dead-in-the-water franchise. I thought Prey was exceptionally good for a smaller indie-style film, and I hope if there is a sequel we get a similar ride but with a bit more cash in the production pocket. Although Ridley Scott is not directing the film, he is however the lead producer. I think this is a big positive. After all, the man has done so much for cinema over the years, even if his last 2 Alien films were highly divisive amongst fans. I believe that a good collaboration is honestly what turns a movie into a great experience after all, certainly not butting heads and studio interference. So hopefully Ridley Scott with his Scott-Free Productions company will get along just fine and collaborate well with the director of Romulus, Fede Alvarez. Fede Alvarez is an interesting cat with a decent amount of experience. He hasn't directed a huge catalogue of films, but out of the modest amount he has directed, his most notable films are the Evil Dead remake in 2013 and both of the Don't Breathe movies. Entertaining films, but certainly not masterpieces, most would say, What he'll bring to the Alien franchise remains to be seen, but judging from his previous work, he could install a darker, more threatening and violent tone to the film. Hopefully, under his direction, we may get something eerily akin to the first Alien film. The Don't Breathe movie certainly had a good amount of tension, so I definitely wouldn't say no to Alvarez, as I think this is what the franchise needs right now. As long as the story elements are tight and the writing is high level, then it's possible we could have a gem of a film heading our way. Another quick mention is that the filming began for Romulus at the beginning of March. They teased a little set photo which I thought looked pretty cool. Of course, it doesn't in any way inform us if the film is going to be good or not, but there are some nice details in the photo. The facehugger, which is most likely an actual prop, has some nice textures to it. Slightly darker skin tones than its predecessors. And the set in the background looks amazing. All the familiar details are there, and it's great to see the company logos, as we said earlier, written on the hallways. Very foreboding. We can probably expect a teaser trailer late this year or early 2024, but the release date could well be the end of 2024 or early 2025. Okay, so the cast, who are they? Well, firstly, they're all in their 20s. It would appear that the actors I'm familiar with, at least, I would say have somewhat proven themselves enough to warrant our interest. So the cast consists of Kylie Spaney, David Johnson, Archie Renouel, Spike Fern, Eileen Wu, and Isabella Merced. I do recognise some of these actors from other things, and they did a great job with what they had to work with. But one of the things that made Alien in 1979 so grounded and shockingly real was that the actors were older and had a lot more life experience to bolster their acting chops. The cast of Romulus being so young is definitely an alarm bell for sure, so I would wager that how good or bad the film is will hinge mostly on the writing and direction from Alvarez. I imagine that such a young cast will need everything they can to work with, even if that's kind of rude to say, as I'm sure they're very talented. Apparently Alvarez had told Ridley Scott his idea for the movie some years ago, but it must have stuck with him for Ridley to have picked this director and his story for the next Alien film. I mean, I certainly hope it's good enough for Ridley to have just discarded his own version as well as Neil Blomkamp's for the next instalment into the franchise. There are so many other topics of speculation I would love to discuss, like whether we will see colonial marines or will there be androids in Romulus. But I'll save that for another video. In the meantime, I hope you enjoyed your time on LV426, and please remember to drop back any time if you dare. Take care, dudes.